各位亲爱的朋友们，大家好。
Hello everyone.
今天咱们讲一下哈，在这个茫茫人生之中啊，人总是在某些关键时候啊，
Today,
就遇到
we're going to
了幸
discuss
运
why is it at
或
a
者是
certain
不
point
幸。
in time, some
那
people
幸
may
运的人
face
呢，
with good fortune
就可能是
events or unfortunate
得救了
events.
啊，生命得到
For
延
those
续
who，are lucky,
或者是发财了，
then they
不
may
再受
be
贫穷
gain additional
等
wealth,
等的啊，这些好
or
事。
they are out of
那不
poverty,
幸的话，有时
or
候
having some
刹那
success
之
in
间呢，
life. For
就受
others,
伤了，
in a
或者
moment,
是失去了生命，
they may hurt
或者
themselves
是
or even lost their
落
life,
入了他人为你设下的经济陷阱。
or they may
啊，
fall
钱
into some financial scams and
所以
lost their life
幸与不
savings.
幸之间啊，
So
在这
between
个
whether
世界
you are
上
lucky or
就
unlucky person,
林林总总，数不胜数啊。来，接下来呢，
it
还来
really
看看
depends
哈
on many
网络
reasons.
上一些朋友们抛出来的视频。
So today, we're going to share some online friends, the videos that they shared.
这个幸运和不幸之间呢，你看刹那间，
So good fortune and
刚才看
misfortune
到
is a
的
split
是
of
生
seconds.
死一线之间。
It's life and death.
哎，有的人呢，看到哎有需要去帮助的事情，
Some may
去
see that
帮
there are
助了
some in need,
结
they
果
went to
帮
help,
助他人的事，
and by
结果
helping
帮助了
others,
自
they
己。
helped themselves.
哎，所以呢，你可以在这些发生的各种的事件之中啊，
So in all
啊，
these
其实仔
events,
细分析，
when you
啊，
analyze
观
them
察
and
研
when
究
you
的
make
话，说
observations,
这里头都是有些有原因
there
的。
are actually a lot of reasons.
啊，按照
behind
佛
it
学来说的话，这可能会有人是说，
From
幸
Buddhism,
运的人
maybe
有
some
可
may
能是
say that
积德行
for
善
those lucky
比较
person,
多，
that's because they have
啊，那有一
accumulated
些不幸的
immeasurable
人呢，
merits.
也可能
And for those who are unlucky,
希望要得到更多
maybe
的
they want
这
to
个
receive
善行，
more,
啊，
they need to do more
让
kind
自己更
deeds
吉祥。
so that
因
they can
为
be more
有这
fortunate.
个功德呀，啊，所以在看似灾难来临的时候呢，哎，自己就得救了啊，不受
Because
危
when
难。
misfortune
哎，
happens,
很
they
多
are
很多这
saved.
样的事情，就是人的这一生之中，应该是经历过无数次各种各样的这种生于险
I
境
think
的
many
灾难。
times people will go through many of
所以
such
今
experiences
天
or
呢，给大家带来
encounters.
的这些，
So today,
我们网友朋
we're
友
going to
们
share
他
some
们自
of
己的
our
亲身经历
experience
来分享给大家，让大家呢
by some of our
能
online
够
friends
像品尝美味一般哈，好好分析琢磨
so
其
that
中
you
的
have
味
a
道。
chance
觉得
to listen and also
师傅，
analyze.
首先呢，带来一个美国的网
So
友小
Master,
林，他
the
讲的故
first
事
story
哈。
is about
有请
selling
网友们一块
stories
儿听
from
一听他这个
America
故事背后幸与不幸还有什么样的原因。
and also
啊
the reason, the
小林呢，
consequence
他从小
as a
在美国
result of
长大
that.
那么
Xiaolin
他
grew
也
up
不
in the
是很
US
信宗教这
and
样的，
has never
只
really
是说
had
呢，
any
就逢年
religious
过节呀，
beliefs.
就到寺庙里边去
Just the
拜
type
拜
who visit
啊。
temples
直到她后来
during the
嫁到
Chinese
先
New
生家
Year
才知道什
for
么
the
叫
festive
香火
vibes.
世家。
It wasn't
她
until
嫁
she
到这
married
个
into
老
the
李家
husband
呢，哈，
family
是
that she
南
understood
台
what
湾
it
南
meant
部
to
某
come
一个
from a
小镇
deeply
上的大户
devoted
人家，
household.
祖上呢也
The
是做
husband's
官
surname
员，
is
也
Li,
比较积德
and they
行
are
善。
a very
人家
prominent
都说
household
他
in
们
a
家
small
是这种
town
积
in
德之
southern
家
Taiwan.
哈。那么
And their
他这
ancestors
个
one had
小林
official
结婚之后
positions
呢，就是跟
and were
公公
known
啊
for
在一起居
accumulating
住。
virtues
那
and
公
doing
公
good
呢可
deeds.
是个非常
And
虔诚
people
的
in the
人，
village say
他
that
这
the
个李
family
家
has
祖
good
上就
feng
传
shui
下来一
and a
尊释
thriving
迦牟尼
lineage.
佛的佛像。
She
公
didn't
公
take
啊
it
每
seriously at
天
that
都去
time,
上
and
香
it
礼
seems like
拜
some old
敬
rule
水
taught and
敬
let
米
go.
啊，从不
The
间断。
father-in-law was
而
an
且呢，
extremely
他
devoted
他
man.
们家呢还
He lives with them, and in their house they had the statues of Sakyamuni Buddhas passed down from ancestors, along with ancestral tablets. And he offered incense and water daily without fail. He also kept an eternal oil lamp. It is a tradition that has been maintained since his father's times, and it had never gone out. And when the father was alive, he said that it is important to keep the light lit all the time. So, although she doesn't know anything, she didn't think too much about it. But later on, when the father-in-law passed on, the responsibilities now pass on to the son, because the son, which is the husband of Xiaoling, because he is the elder son, and he was rather obedient one, so he agreed to what his father had asked of him. And for a while, he kept on the daily rituals like lighting incense, adding oil to the lamps, and even preparing fruits as offerings. But Xiaoling started to grumble because she grumbled that they don't have a very big place, and the whole place kind of use up all the wall space. So she didn't really want to do that. So she told her husband, well, you don't have to be so serious about it. And slowly the husband also becomes affected by her, and they only do it during the important times, and he became not so serious in the offerings. But he still makes sure that the oil lamps continue to be lit. Later on, they move on to a new house, and they're renovating their new home. And where can they put the Buddha statues and ancestral tables? They have to place in the living room. But he just felt that they didn't match the decor. Because she felt that the decor is more modern, and with all these traditional items at home, she didn't feel very comfortable with it. And during one major cleaning day, she packed both the Buddha statue and the ancestral tablets into the storage closets. The husband stood at the door and looked very uneasy. Wouldn't this be kind of bad? And Xiaoling said, your dad didn't say we couldn't put them away. And they are already packed anyway. Well, why don't we just keep your eternal lamp going? Let it light the house at night. So the husband didn't say anything, and she thought that it was the end of it. So very soon, the anniversaries of the father-in-law passing came around. And the husband, still filial, brought out his father's photo, lit incense, offered fruits, and a vegetarian meal. As he was arranging things, she couldn't help, and then she muttered, what's the point of all this? The ancestral tablets are packed away. Do you think the photo is going to eat? Before she could even finish speaking, popped. The eternal oil lamp went out. Two of them froze. That's very strange. Because there's no winds blowing the house, and the lamp has been burning non-stop, and the oil was full, no wind. And this is already the 4th generation of burning this oil lamp, and has never went out. Their hearts sank. And just like that, a series of misfortunes began, like domino fallings. So the husband was actually doing some construction projects, and she was about to close an engineering deal. But suddenly, the clients flipped on the table and cancelled the contract, refusing to pay any fees. He was so furious that he slammed his phone on the ground. And she wasn't spared either. So while cutting vegetables in the kitchen, Xiaoling accidentally sliced her hand. And the wound was so deep, and blood was oozing out. It wouldn't stop bleeding, and she needed to go to the hospital for several stitches. The nurse said, well, that knife was sharp. But she thought to herself, our kitchen knives usually can't even cut through meat. How did it slice me so easily? She didn't quite understand what happened. A few days later, their youngest daughter, usually the healthiest, suddenly developed a high fever, a 40 degrees Celsius high fever. And it kept coming back even after taking the medications. She looks like she had lost her soul. And that night, Xiaoling held her as she slept. And suddenly, she heard her whisper in Xiaoling's ears, "Grandma's not happy." She was shocked. Xiaoling and her husband were completely shocked. Their face turned pale. Neither of them could sleep the rest of the night. They sat up and decided that they shouldn't risk it. It's better be safe than sorry. So the next day, they decided to go to a temple and find a spiritual master to see what was going on and to help to calm the daughter's spirit. So they found a highly regarded spiritual master the next day. She didn't ask any questions, just sat quietly with her eyes closed. Then suddenly, her expression changed and her voice transformed. And she looked at them angrily. She stared straight at them and said that, "You packed the Buddha statue away and don't worship your ancestors. You are unfilial descendants. I left and you don't even make offerings to me. I'm so angry." The moment they heard that, the tone, the expressions, that look was exactly like the father-in-law's. Xiaoling and her husband were so frightened that they dropped to their knees on the spot. And the husband started to bow and repeatedly and said, "Dad, I'm sorry. Dad, I was wrong." And Xiaoling also repeated, begging for forgiveness, overwhelmed with regret. And then after that, they decided to, first thing that they did when they went home was to take the Buddha statue and ancestral tablets out of the storage closet, clean them carefully, and respectfully return them to their original place. They also relit the internal oil lamps, and kneeling in front of the Buddha, they sincerely repent, saying that we know we were wrong. And they also went to the temple again and invited a monk to perform a ritual to help the father-in-law's spirit move on peacefully. They also offered 7 eternal oil lamps to make up for the devotions they've neglected over the past few years. And what happened next completely took them by surprise. A construction project that has been still for 6 months and was on the verge of being scrapped suddenly got approved. Not only did the other party agree, they even took the initiative to release the funds. When the husband came home, he was in belief. It was so strange. I was really giving up. How did it suddenly go through? And the children also became healthy and peaceful, and the house was once again filled with laughter. As for Xiaoling, every time when she sees her long scar on the hand, she reminds her again and again. And she now sincerely lights incense and makes offerings to Buddhas and ancestors. So if you look at this, if you reflect this, it is obvious that the ancestors were indeed angry. So the question is, whether you believe or not, it is not up to you. The things will definitely happen. And what happens, you will be punished. So it is very silly that you want to wait for consequences to happen, and these are negative consequences before you start to take actions. Actually, especially when the ancestors have set some rules, you try not to change them, because if you change them, you may have to pay a very high price. If you look at their family, they met accidents and injuries. She accidentally cut her hands, and then she needs to go for stitches in the hospital. The husband had career setbacks and suffered financial loss. And as for the children suffers health problems and spiritual distress. Why? Because the ancestors are angry and they punish the descendants. Actually, to having a small cut in the hands, it is not major punishment. It is actually very light already. But the story is very clear. And the story is very straightforward. So it reminds us that we must always be respectful, we must honor our ancestors.
好的，好的，这个网友也是哈，把自己的这个事情哈，惨痛的哈，也都写了一下。师傅，我们也送给他一份吉祥的礼物。
Master, do we have an auspicious gift for Xiaoling to calm her down? To calm her down?
好，那我们送给小林呢？
So what we have for Xiaoling, and look at this. This is a teapot, and puti, purati is a set, and wishing you health, auspiciousness, and your family will enjoy peace and safety. Thank you, Master. So, Master, we talk about the ancestors. We have another story, and this is actually from Malaysia, Penang. Sister Li Wan, and the story that she wrote to us. She said in May 2019, Li Wan's mother had a fall and experienced severe leg pain. And honestly, she didn't take it too seriously at that time because she was already 85, but incredibly healthy. She was able to go out shopping, buy groceries, and dancing in the square, and even cooking delicious meal for the family. She didn't seem like an elderly person at all. So she thought that it was just a regular fall and that some rest in a hospital would be enough. But 2 weeks later, she passed on because she just left like that without any warning or preparations. The mother truly loved her. And when she passed, she felt like the life was sucked out. All life was sucked out of her. And she started crying often. And the moment she thought, I don't have a mother anymore, and every time she thought about that, tears would just come rolling out of the eyes. And during that time, she dreamt about the mother often, a few times a week. In the dreams, the mother always said her legs hurt and she couldn't walk. And this sister would carry her and take her places. She often woke up crying and with a deep ache in the heart. Strangely, after that, her own legs started hurting too. She couldn't lift it. It felt like she had to drag her foot just to walk. So she went to see various doctors, got massages, tried acupuncture, but nothing worked. The doctor simply said, at your age, it's normal for the legs to degenerate. Walk less, rest more. But she was only 54. How could it be degenerating already? So she had this question in her mind. Then in 2020, the pandemic hit, and they were all stuck at home. So once she was scrolling on the phone when a live stream by Master popped up on Facebook. So she clicked on it out of curiosity and found it very interesting. Since she had nothing else to do, she started watching daily and quickly became a devoted fan. So in the live streams, many people shared their illnesses, how their illnesses have improved, and she was moved. So she wrote a letter to Master explaining her legs pain and the dream she kept having about the mother. Soon after, Master's assistant replied and told her that there was a Bodhi meditation center in Penang and advised that she would go for a class. So when she visited, they told her that the center will be having a 8 days Bodhi health and fitness retreat. So she thought that it might help with her legs. So she signed up immediately. So during the retreat, there was a segment that dedicated to chanting for our deceased loved ones. The teacher reminded them that if they dream of their deceased loved ones suffering, it's important that they, the living, chant for them and do good deeds on their behalf. Before the chanting, she offered 3 lamps for the mother and sincerely prayed, asking the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to compassionately guide her to a better place. And to the surprise, on the 3rd night after offering the lamps, she had a dream. And in the dream, she knew very well that her mother had already passed on. She held her face in her hands, crying, and asked, "How will I recognize you in the next life?" The scenes felt like they were at the airport immigration checkpoint. There was a bright light all around. At that moment, she understood. She was going somewhere bright, peaceful, and good. Since that night, she never dreamed of her again, and her leg pain gradually went away. After attending a few more health retreats, her legs fully recovered. So she was truly grateful to Master. And the offering of lamps through Bodhi meditations allowed the mother to be guided by Buddha's light to a brighter realms. And she regained her health. And she knows that with Buddha's protections and peaceful ancestors, the descendants will thrive. Once again, thank you, Master. So as we reflect to her testimonial, so the dreaming of a deceased mother with legs pain, the daughter also develops legs pain. So not only she received the mom's, she also actually felt the pain. She also developed the leg pains. Some may ask, why is it that spirits understood the leg pains? Actually, we talk about life. In the human realms,
生命活着的生命状态，并不仅仅是我们现在互相看到的状态。
They are not.
我们所说的阴间另外一个世界。
They are actually in a different realms.
还有多重的。
They are actually multi-universe.
这个外星人到底在哪个？
It is just like where the aliens, at which time space are they at? Well, when we take our aircraft or spaceships, maybe we'll never be able to find aliens. But one day, maybe there are some sophisticated machines, and that machines is able to travel across different time space. It is just like the human realms. When we pass on, we move to the spiritual realms. Maybe when you are able to have the machine that to transcend that, you'll be able to see that. And in that world, they have many feelings and emotions as well. So for the mom, when she died, she suffered the leg pains. And that's why when she went to the different realms, she continued to suffer the similar leg pains. And that's why the daughter had a dream. Would you like to make a guess? Why is it that the daughter also suffers from leg pains? Well, maybe the mom needs help and just to alert the daughter. I don't actually quite understand why.
有时候谁都有卡住的时候啊，像觉真卡住了啊。
So, Jason, you are also stuck.
它是血缘关系。
Actually, because they are all related by blood.
欠钱欠债一样。
So it is like you have a debt that you have not paid. The parents have a debt, karmic debt, that has not been paid. So they want the kids to continue to pay. It is like in the village. Your mom's owed money to someone in the village and she didn't pay and she passed on. And you as the descendants, do you have to continue to pay? Yes. And if you refuse to pay, what happens?
这跑了和尚跑不了庙，咱们一个村里的，是不是啊？你妈借了钱走了没还？
Your mom borrowed money and she left suddenly. And you are the descendants. Of course, now the responsibility falls onto you. You have to pay for it.
但是在人情上是这个样子。
So this is something that's more, it's difficult to use science to explain. Because when we talk about disease, everybody can understand. Like for example, if the mother has certain specific illness, but the children suffers the same illness, that can be understood. But in this case, it was a leg pain and she has already passed on, and that leg pain is passed on to the daughter. That is also a karmic debt. So this is definitely a form of karmic debt. For example, if I want to raise my kids and my job is a butcher, and what happens? You have to suffer. You have to suffer because of the karmic debt. And as a result, the descendants will suffer from the pain, the back pain, the leg pain. Why? Because the parents, as a butcher, they have to chop up pox. So that's why when the parent suffers the pain, the children will suffer the pain. And if it will be passed on to your next generations, to your future descendants. So this is not very good. And don't worry, there's also this compound interest components. There are a lot of interests. So the karmic debt, it will multiply. Maybe it's 1 year, the interest. And what if it's 10 years? What will be the interest? It will snowball and a huge debt. So maybe $100 of debt. It may snowball to be $1 million of debt. Because with the time, and that will also accumulate. So the lucky for this sisters is that she had a chance to come to the center, and she offered lights to accumulate merits. Yes, and eventually, after she did the class, she dreamt of the mom. She dreamt of the mom in a very bright place. It was a bright lights all around. So it just means that at least the mom has already paid her karmic debt. And after that, her leg pains has disappeared as well. And that is through her accumulations of work or accumulations of merits. Because if you think about it, the scenes that she dreamt of the mother was actually at the airport immigration checkpoint. So what is it like? Where does the aircraft fly to? It flies into space. So it is elevations, it is a higher realms. So when the children, when they continue their cultivations, the descendants will benefit. And that's why in this case, the mom, she saw the mom with bright lights all around. Because the mom and the daughter are continuous, they are linked. So the daughter has accumulated the merits, and through the accumulations of merits by the daughter, the mother who has departed received the blessings. So Master, I think I have a question, because the daughter dreamed of the mom at 3 times a week. That time at the center, I heard that there's the Indians. The Indians came and said that this girl, she really missed her father. And this practitioner, she kept the photos of her late father in a wallet for 24 years and often talked to the late father like he's still there. She felt that she's always protecting her. Is that good, Master? Because she felt that she have some form of peace. Is that good, Master? But after she heard Master's teaching, she got scared. Is that not good for the departed? Yes, and Master, you did share with her that it may disturb their soul. It's not so good for the living either. She suffers a lot of pain as well. And also increase the negative energies and inauspiciousness. It is like when you pump too much gas into a tires, it may burst either. So because the father had a very bad temper, she said that the family don't like her. Yes, all the families, all the relatives try to be away from her. Why? Because she has very bad temper. So where did that come from? That's because of her own emotions. She has a lot of negative emotions. So it is important to remind all that no matter how much we like our departed loved ones, it is important for us to let go. So we have another Dharma sister says that the parents, after they pass away, they have a pictures. She changed that into a photo wallpapers of her and her deceased parents. It's actually not a good idea to have that as a wallpaper to a departed person as a wallpaper. I suggest that, do you have any suggestions, Yang Ke? I think maybe it's important to put something that's cheerful, maybe more sunny, and auspicious images for phone wallpapers, because you turn on every day. So it's a reminder of your emotions, the positive energies. And I'd like to remind you that it doesn't matter who has passed on, the photos. Definitely, you do not want to see that, the deceased person, because it is not auspicious. They will not harm you, but they are in a different world. They have a very strong yin energies. So it is not good for you. I remember Yang Ke asked me, Master, let's say in the wallets or in the photos, what is good? And I said to her that first, it must be beautiful. If you're a lady, if you're a girl, you must see something that you really like it, you really enjoy the image. It represents peace and happiness. For me, I like beautiful buildings, architectural buildings. So I can put a very beautiful architectural buildings. When I look at it, I may not laugh loudly, but I feel very peaceful. What about Jason? What do you like? I like tree. I like oceans. I like nature. What about you, Yang Ke? I like Master's painting. So maybe there's some very good pictures. Maybe the words that I've written on my painting, or the words. If you like master pictures, maybe you can also put that, because it represents good health and auspiciousness. Because definitely it has better energies, more positive energies. So you don't want the moment when you look at it, it provides you with a lot of reactions, negative reactions. So those are not so suitable. You want to have some peace and some happiness. So these are content will be better for phone wallpaper. And in the wallet, do not place those who have passed on. You want to place something that's more auspicious, like yellow zambala, that will bring you wealth, that will help to bring you auspiciousness. Or medicine Buddhas. Or medicine Buddhas as wallpaper. Or these are all auspicious. So Li Wan shares that it is important that when the departed pass away, you have to let go. It doesn't mean that you just completely forget about them. No, you can commemorate and honor the deceased on important ancestral holidays or events. So that's enough, rather than think of them every day. So we have gifts for her, for Li Wan. We have a very auspicious, this Vajra pastel. It will provide you with auspicious energy, and you want to place it in your own wallet or purse. It will ward off negative energies, and everything will be peaceful. Everything will be auspicious. Thank you, Master. And now we have another testimonial from the US. From Sing Sing, from Silicon Valley, USA. She said that the son is. She heard Master's teaching and said that during the Qingming festival, she brought the children along to fulfill the filial piety and honor the ancestors. So she followed Master's advice. So because they cannot return to their hometown in Taiwan, so she asked the son to watch Master's live stream with her and chant the Buddha's name and even went to the parking lot to burn the paper offerings for the ancestors. She also guided the son to the Bodhi Meditation Center, the website to light lamps for the ancestors and karmic creators. So coincidentally, a few days later, the son had a very important job interview. At the interview, she wasn't confident at all. He felt that he didn't perform well, especially since he answered some questions honestly by saying he hadn't done those jobs before. So he assumed that he wouldn't get the job. But she did say that she is willing to learn. And she shared with the mom that he don't think he would get the job because he felt that he didn't perform well. And unexpectedly, 3 days later, he received good news. He got the job. The interviewer said that even though he wasn't the most experienced candidate, they appreciate his honesty. She was shocked to hear that. So he was incredibly grateful for the protections and blessings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, as well as the ancestors. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it? Even getting a job in these conditions where he didn't perform well. So I think Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and ancestors have provided the son with protections, and immediately he received the blessings. What is interesting is that in North America, it's not easy to burn paper money. So the mom even brought him to the car park to burn paper money. So he found some place, a car park that doesn't have people, and sincerely did that. I think a few days ago in Vancouver centers, one Dharma sister shared that she think of the mom that departed. So what she did was every day she burned incense to her, but she kept having nightmares, and in the nightmares she felt that the parents' spirits are still around the house. So after she heard about the master, so I said, why don't you just do some paper money for them? I said, yeah. Where do you do that? I do that in my backyard as well, and I did that in my fireplace. No, that's not good. You should go to a place. You should go to a place, a meditation cultivation place. A place, when you do that, you do it because it's a form of dedicating merits to them. And secondly, is that you don't want to be close to your home. You want to burn it far away from your home. So I think Xinxin's mom is very smart. She found a car park, the deserted car park, and she burned the paper money for the ancestors. Well, such things you can choose not to believe it, but there are many of such testimony before. So if you think about Vancouver time, it was yesterday Vancouver time. It was the actual day of the Qingming festival. So our centers, we accumulate merits for all. We have burned the paper money for all the ancestors. It was very auspicious. I think that many people who were there,
祭祀祖先的人哈，像在温哥华禅堂这边的很多人，我相信也都得到了。
In Vancouver Center, I believe many you have received the type of feelings or communications with your ancestors after we have performed the ceremony, the ritual. There was a significant portion of people that night. They start to see their departed loved ones. It is maybe within 3 to 5 days, about 70 to 80% people, they will dream of their deceased loved ones. So you'll be able to have these connections, and you know the power of actually performing this. For people in the America, you too will receive the blessing. So we have gift for Xing Xing and the Sun Master. Look at this. Do you know what is this? This is turquoise necklace.
这是项链，这是项链，对对对。还有呢？
这个八卦衣。
And we have this energy Bagua T-shirts.
这不是八卦衣了哈。这是
干什么都可以的。
Oh, this T-shirt you can use not just for Bagua, for anything actually.
记住这个名字吗？
Do you know what is this? This is a dragon protections. There's a golden dragons in front, and it provides a yin and a yang. It brings you peace.
度过这样的一个烽火年哈。
You'll be able to pass this year, fire and wind year peacefully. Wishing you auspiciousness, wishing you longevities,
佛光普照。
and may the Buddha's light shine upon you.
那师傅就是说到这个供佛心想事成哦，这边还有另外一个美国网友给我们带来的故事，他是旧金山的 Frank。
So, Master, we have another story about Frank.
然后2017年的时候呢
From San Francisco. He said he shared that he submitted his green card application back in 2017, and he waited for 8 years long. And meanwhile, the U.S. immigration policies were getting tighter. And every time he consulted with his lawyers, the response was always discouraging. So in January 2025, he followed his mom to Bodhi Meditation Center. At the meditation center, he drew a divine lot for his green card. It came back as a medium lot. The message says that while there would still be obstacles ahead, there was still hope. So he immediately lit a 49 days blessing lights for himself, sincerely praying for guidance from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And his mother also encouraged him to dedicate more time to volunteer work at the center. And next month, in February, the mom also specially lit a large wish-fulfilling lamp for him and sincerely asking Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bless him so that he could receive his green card soon. And unbelievably, just over a week later, he suddenly received a letter from the U.S. immigration. His green card has been approved. His hands were trembling with excitement. After 8 years of waiting, he finally received his green card. Now he can live in the U.S. with peace of mind. And he's deeply grateful to Master and to Bodhi meditations. That's a great news. Well, it is not easy to get a green card in the U.S. A lot of time, it is amazing to be able to get a green card in these times. So when people can't fix things themselves, we get the inspirations that it is important to ask Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for help. Because I think Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will be able to fulfill all your wish. Because to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, that is very simple to do. It is very important for you to be a volunteer at the meditation center, because when you do that, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will come to look at you. They will see whether you are sincere. If you are sincere, you definitely will receive the protections and blessings. So this is a very good sharing. So maybe we should give him a gift so that they can be happier. So Frank, you're a lucky person. So look at this. This is a blessed beads bracelet, a blue bracelet, and it is very suitable for this year. And look at this. This is so radiating with soft bright lights. And what is the other one that you get? Is Vajrapastal. And these two will protect you, will bring you protections. The moms also helps. So this is the aquamarine bracelet. The aquamarine bracelet is for the mom, and this Vajrapastal is for Frank. Wishing you auspiciousness and wishing you longevities. Master, we have another story. It's from Penang, Malaysia. She shared that from Rong Yuan, she said that in June 2021, Rong Yuan, daughter-in-law, became pregnant with a first child. And during a routine prenatal checkup at 36 weeks, the doctor discovered that the baby's umbilical cord was wrapped tightly around the neck, and the fetus no longer had a heartbeat. So upon hearing this news, the whole family was shocked, deeply worried and heartbroken. And they didn't give up. They went to the second hospital. But they also confirmed the diagnosis and tried to explore any possibility of saving the babies. But the results were the same, no heartbeat. So the entire family was devastated, especially the daughter-in-law. In 2022, the daughter-in-law became pregnant again. After what they've gone through the first time, she didn't want to take any chance. From the beginning of the pregnancy, she started offering lambs on her behalf. So when she reached 25 weeks, she lit a 49 days blessing lamps for her. Because Master says that when you have major things, you want to have 49 days light, then it's more effective. So pray for stable pregnancy and safe delivery for both mother and child. And at 30 weeks, she lit a second 49 days blessing lamps, sincerely praying for the baby's health and for a smooth, peaceful delivery. So in December 2022, when she was again at 36 weeks, she went for a routine checkup. This time, the doctor found the umbilical cord was once again wrapped around the baby's neck. Although the baby was still breathing, the situation was very alarming. Naturally, they all became incredibly anxious, having gone through this once before, and they feared the worst might happen again. So the doctor recommended that she hospitalize early for constant monitoring of the baby's movement and well-being. And the medical staff was very diligent to check the baby's breathing and any change. During this period, she lit 4 7-day lamps for the son and daughter-in-laws, including ones dedicated to transferring merits to their Karmic creditors and ancestors. And all she prayed was a safe, smooth delivery and a healthy baby. And finally, when she reached 37 weeks, the doctor decided a C-section could be performed, and the procedures went smoothly, and she gave birth to a healthy boy. Now, the grandson is over 3 years old, and everything is going well. He is healthy and growing up peacefully. So she's immensely grateful for the lamp offered through Bodhi meditations. So, why is it the 3 times? So if you think about it, the pregnant mother, from the mom, her body, her physics, Bodhi is just like that. Every time she gets pregnant, she may have she may have a problematic pregnancy. It's a specific sign relating to her pregnancy, to the daughter-in-law pregnancy. Is it good or bad? Do you think it's good? No, it's not. It is actually very dangerous for her. So if you think about this, it got to do with karma. If you dwell deeper, it is karma. Well, I think about it's in 1991 in Guangdong, in Guangzhou, when I was spreading the Dharma in Guangdong, there is this Lao Lin, old Lin. There's an old gentleman, old Lin. He has something similar, a story similar to this. So, Lao Lin was actually from Guangdong, Chaoshan. So they are very different from the typical people from Guangdong. Their diet is different from the Guangdong people. And this old Lin, he only have daughter. He doesn't have a son. Maybe he has like 2 or 3 daughters. but without a son. But in order to have, because Taosan people are very traditional, even till today. So through recommendations of relatives and friends, he adopted a son so that he can have a son. So it is not his biological son, but an adopted son. So Lao Ling liked the son, Lao Ling liked his son, but the boy was similar to me, was not good in his studies. He wasn't doing well in school, which worried Lin. And when he went to secondary school, he was expelled from school. Why? Because his results was really bad. So as a result, he was expelled from school. So Lao Ling accepted it because he loved the adopted son like his own. Since he has no ability to studies, he still has to find a different path. And during that time, Lao Ling's mom looked at this young boy and he got worried too. And he told the son and said, well, there's more than one path in life. Grandma is very skilled at making rose goose. And our family knows how to make soy-braised dishes, and you can make a living from that. So the boy was quickly trained to make rose goose. So what the grandma did is that they bought some geese and then killed it and roast the geese. So the grandma will be the chef and the young boy will help to sell. And every day they have order. How many did they sell in a day? When they first started, they managed to sell about 8 to 10 roast geese. But after a year, they could sell 50 roast geese in a day. And in 1990s, his salaries, he could earn 20,000 RMB. That's earning tens of thousands per month. So what they're very smart is that they don't even need to open a store. They don't even need to pay rent for the store. How did they do that? They just cycle to do deliveries. So every time after they roast the geese, they just put into the bicycles and they cycle to the market to sell. So they have a makeshift stalls. So within 2 hours, because they will sell completely the roast geese. That's how good their business. Well, indeed, they have very good skills. And one day something happens. Lao Ling came to look for me. What happens? So Lao Ling has 3 daughters. The eldest is pregnant. Why did they look for me? Because the doctors discovered that the baby's umbilical cord had wrapped around the neck. Actually, the daughter has difficulties trying to get pregnant. After a few years, she got pregnant, but because of the umbilical cord wrapped around the neck, the fetus died. So they didn't have any grandchildren. There was no heartbeat. And they have to perform an abortion surgery. And that was 5 years later. Finally, this daughter became pregnant. But then they discovered that the baby's umbilical cord had wrapped around the neck once again. And that's why Lao Ling went to seek Master's help.
好在胎儿还好，对吧？当时。
So Master helped her.
师傅怎么帮她呢？
So how did Master help her?
他容易啊。
It was easy for me to help. I used the Dharma power.
进入禅境。
So in my meditations,
小孩这个能量就散开就可以了。
I helped the child
散开之后， 我就
to spread the energy. And during that time, we have cells. I send message to Lao Ling and ask what happens, and tell the hospital.
你要那个要照这些透，我不知道是透视叫什么之类的，超声波哈。
The doctor says that she needs to do an ultrasound
医生都下班了嘛哈，
to confirm whether the cord had come loose. So after Master helped her, after the doctors confirmed with ultrasound that the cord had come loose,
他们家了哈，哎，给我
师傅也不吃烧鹅呀，拿什么来孝敬师傅啊？
他的孩子卖烧鹅哈，是在他老家卖。
so they sell the roast goose in their old house. So Lao Ling
自来水公司
work in a
公司啊上班，
work in a mirror water
他就是以
factory.
茶来接待师傅。
那挺好。
So when I went to
功夫茶
there, they offer me tea, 功夫 tea.
后来怎么样着？
我一看可是，哎呀，这老林怎么喝茶的，特别气人。那么大，像个大苹果似的小铜茶壶。
So they offer me
功夫
tea
茶哈，就是铁
and
观音
the 铁观音 tea.
塞得满满的，
They
还一
make
瓷实了。
the teapot, a very small teapot,
才往里
full,
加水
and then they
加了
add
水之后
water.
在炉子上再煮15
And
分钟
after that, they boil it for another 50
完了之后
minutes.
师傅第一次到家来，
And this is the first time I went to the house, so they give me 3 cups of tea. And thought this is very simple.
特别小的
The
小
cup
白
is
酒杯
really tiny,
小小的小
tiny
白酒杯
teapot.
这3杯茶也不是3杯酒。
It is not
小
tea,
意
it
思
is not
我就喝了。
alcohol, right? It's not wine. But when I drink it, why is it so bitter, much bitter than the Chinese medications?
我得懂礼貌啊，多苦也得喝了。
But I must drink it, right? Because this Lao Ling offered me. And after 3 cups, I became
想
drunk.
不到喝茶能喝醉人。
I didn't know that drinking tea
想呕吐
哎呦，真的。
can make me
你
drunk.
给我下药了这是。
I said, what happened? Do you put some
笑着拍手
medications to my
师傅的
tea?
功力也扛不住
I
3杯
said,
茶
well, Master, you can't even drink 3 tea,
啊，说的
3
说的时候头
cup
面
of
花
tea. But when I was telling him,
确实没吐出
I
来
was giddy. I almost wanted to
2个小
vomit.
时才缓过劲儿来。
And it took me 2 hours
我是
to
潮汕人
regain
再次
myself.
招待你喝茶，你可得问清楚。
So when next time when people from Chaoshan offer you tea,
他一天喝
you
2杯
want to ask well. How much did he drink every day?
生怕他不
He drank a lot because he want to make sure that it's bitter.
听不懂，你咋回甘了？回甘了。
He said, well, this is not bitter. This has a sweetness after the bitterness.
到后来就感觉咽喉里
Well, indeed.
半个下午
After that,
啊
my
这咽喉
whole
里头
afternoon,
这种特别通畅，冒着凉气儿的
well,
感
it
觉
feels like there's
这
this
是他的回甘。
this sweetness after the bitterness was very intense. Afternoon, in the afternoon, after a few hours, I felt that too.
看得我醉成那样子，他就笑得特别开心。
Well, when Lao Ling saw me like almost drunk because of tea, he was laughing
就
away.
是他这个事儿
救了他的女儿。
还没有呢。这个时候可能是我是7、8个月的时候。
I think that was about 7 to 8 months, so
结果
not
到了生产
not
期
the actual delivery yet.
来了。
进产
So
房
later,
就
but
是要
just right before the
等
birth,
半天出不来呢。医生说
the doctor says that
是不是又缠住了？
the cord
有
wrapped
可以查
again,
又缠住了。师傅你得帮忙。
and they sought Master's help once again.
帮忙，我正在忙的时候，啊，我记得我是坐在车上干嘛？
I remember I was in
我
the
就停下来
vehicles. I
用功夫
stopped the
给他
vehicles.
解
I took some time to perform some blessings for her. And after some time,
哎呦，
the Ling called to say that the baby has been safely delivered.
查了。
那高兴坏了。
They were so happy.
他反正他没法言语了吧，就高兴的不可思议啊！对，这个生这个孩子2次给他解开。
So for this specific baby, I have to help 2 times to unwrap the umbilical
小
cord.
林不就是养子嘛哈？
对呀。
后来小林
So
是没
Master,
生孩子呀。
so this is what happened to the son. He has adopted son, right? So this is a daughter.
这个他挣这么多钱哈，
对呀。
四处
So the son, he make a lot of money, and he tried to look for a wife.
哎，
条件好。
对，
he found quite a beautiful girl. But Xiaoling, after 3 years, she has no sign of pregnancy. They went to see the doctor, and they found that Xiaoling, the adopted son, is incapable of conceiving. So that means they have no descendants. Yes, it's actually very sad for the family. And they asked me for help. But when they asked me for help, I need to enter into a deep meditative state. And I look at Xiaoling's the overall health. And what I gather is that the image that I get, there's a lot of killings, there's a lot of blood on the floor, there's a lot of dead geese on the floor. He has performed so much killings, and that's why all the sperms, it's killed as well. And as a result, the Xiaoling has no ability to conceive. So the daughter, the biological daughter, with the umbilical cord wrapped around the neck, is it similar? And Laoling came to me and said, Master, can you help me see what happened? What is it that the umbilical cord is wrapped around the baby? Let me ask you, when you kill the geese, do you use a knife to kill the neck? So how many do you kill? And I said, yeah, 50. How many years have you been doing that? How many thousands or even millions of geese has been killed by you? So indeed, it is because of this killing. I'm just saying this because could be purely a coincidence. And I said, well, Laoling, maybe this was just a coincidence. Maybe you tell me that your Xiaoling is not very good at studying, and that's why the grandmom taught him this roast geese recipes, and that's why he learned this as long as you'll be able to make a living. Well, this is not a bad karma. But at the end, you have this outcome. I did help him, but based on what I know, I couldn't help him. Because the killing is too extensive. During that time, we are only able to do some basic Dharma, spreading the Dharma. We can't talk about offering lights. We can't, because that's considered the religious aspect. And during that time in China, these are not allowed. These are considered as superstitions. Because if you say things like this, you'll be caught and you'll be put in jail. So we have limited methods to help him. So that's why the Xiaoling, the son, the boy, what I understood was that subsequently they have no children, no descendants. Later on, he became old. And after that, we lose touch. But now it's different because we have Bodhi Meditation Center. We can offer to Buddhas. We can accumulate merits. We can make light offerings. We can even become volunteers. There are many aspects of things that we are able to accumulate merits for ourselves and our descendants. So we are very auspicious. We are very lucky to be able to do that. So maybe you may find that there are some that seems to be a cancer or difficult things. Well, with Buddha's blessings, maybe you can have miracles to happen. Even the doctor says that this is something that Western science cannot comprehend. It is not possible to prove through clinical findings. So these are all as a result of accumulations of merits. And this Rongyuan from Malaysia, where you from? From Penang. Rongyuan Sijie, Rongyuan Sister Rongyuan. You have a very auspicious sharings. Yes, she sincerely offers lights, and she is also a volunteer at the center. I think it is important for you to look for volunteer positions at the center. Then you'll be able to become a grandmother. So for the baby, look what is this? 8 auspicious treasure beads. This is, I made it personally. So within it there are certain medicinal substance that will ward off evil. That is also pu tea. And with this purity will bring you health and longevity. And for the daughter-in-law, look at this. What is this? This is lapis lazuli stones. Very, very pure blue stones. It brings you purity, health, and wisdom. So we hope that Rongyuan sisters and your family will receive auspiciousness, longevities, and your grandson will receive auspiciousness as well. And Master, we have another sharings from Silicon Valley's Joanna, USA. You see, Joanna shares that the husband family had a very unfortunate history. His mother died in a car accident at the age of 36, and his younger brother died by suicide at 23 after causing a car accident himself and falling into depressions. His husband, his father, and his sisters had been diagnosed with depressions. It felt like the whole family had this cloud of darkness over them. Even though Joanna knew his background before they got married, she naively thought that it had nothing to do with them. But after they got married, one blow after another hit them. They got married in 2005, and the daughter was born in 2007. And when the husband was on paternity leave, he was laid off from his job. He wasn't in a hurry to find another one, and instead pinned his hope on making money through investing. So he started investing in real estate. He used up all their savings to buy 5 properties in different locations, dreaming of financial freedom. But then, in 2008, there was a financial crisis. The property values plummeted, and they couldn't keep any of the houses because the bank had took back all the houses. Even the one they lived in was also repossessed by the bank. They were left surviving based on Joanna's income. Under immense financial and emotional stress, the husband's health started deteriorating rapidly. He developed severe allergies and coughed constantly, so badly that his rib hurt, and he suffered from depressions and insomnia, and even reached the age of suicidal thoughts. They fought constantly, affecting their marriage and blaming one another. They also even thought about ending it with a divorce seems like the only way out. They lived like that for 6 or 7 years. Then in June 2013, by sheer chance, she stepped into Bodhi Meditation Center. She started following Master's teachings and finally understood that the husband's family misfortunes and their bad luck over the years were caused by karmic forces. The misfortunes of the previous generations continued to affect the entire family. In the face of karma, she felt powerless, and she began doing what Master called chanting, offering lights, and dedicating merits for the 3 of them, as well as their karmic creditors and ancestors. And during the Medicine Buddha's birthday in 2013, Master personally lit lamps for those in need to relieve illness and suffering. She quickly signed up for offering lamps for her husband. And the next morning, just before dawn, In a half-dream, she saw masters appeared by their bedside with a strong wind. He raised his hands and gave them blessings. She felt this powerful wind and the whole body seems electrified, shaking continuously. The wind and electric sensation lasted for quite a while. The next morning, the husband woke up and said, "This is so strange. My body feels so light. The chest pain from all the coughing is completely gone." She was overjoyed, couldn't believe these miracles. So from then on, his health kept improving. He started working out and even lose over 20 pounds. So he completely renewed mind. And then there was another huge surprise. In February 2014, the blessings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, he got an amazing job offer. He wasn't even job hunting at the time, but it was a former colleague, now a manager at a top company at Silicon Valley, had an opening and thought of him. So he arranged an interview. Although the husband didn't pass the first round, these colleagues gave him a second chance. And he got the job. You must imagine, he was a software engineer, and he hasn't worked in 7 years. So to be able to not work for 7 years and still land a job at such a good company is really unbelievable. So the family benefited a lot. As for the daughter, because Joanna's husband is a very introverted personality, the daughter, she inherited her father's introverted personalities. So in middle school, during the pandemic, she had to study online at home. So she stayed in her room all day, barely spoke, and barely ate. She had no strong interests, no close friends, and Joanna was extremely worried about her. So all she could do was keep offering lights and dedicating merits for her. So in 9th grade, she had opportunities to receive Master's guidance through a face reading. Master gave her blessings, pointed out directions for a future, and personally lit a lamp for her. And from that point, her personality started to change. She joined several school clubs and made new friends. Before big exams, whenever she was sick or anxious, she offered lights, chants, and gave her blessed items to wear. Time and again, this helped her pass smoothly, and even achieving all A's. Under Master's continued blessings, she was admitted this year to New York University's, majoring in media, her first choice. She cried several times with joy, unable to believe it was real. She immediately bowed in gratitude to Master. She is grateful to Masters and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for their constant blessings, for helping to resolve their ancestral karmic burdens, and for guiding the family step by step out of darkness, restoring health, happiness, and hope. Master, I have a question. In the dreams, she dreamt that Master came to her to beside the bed and personally blessed them. She also felt a strong wind blow when Master applied. Master, does it mean that when you come to bless, you need to have the strong winds to blow? The way she described, is it real? Well, if she lies, she doesn't have to say this. I understand her problems. This is indeed true. But most people, like in the dreams, if they've been blessed by me, they will not have something that's so strong. Very rarely they have such strong feelings. But her family is a bit different because
我们正常这个肉体状态。
Maybe this is beyond
所以
our
要想
physical
仪式对它
forms.
加持有效的话，其实就是来的一下，等于做了好几件事儿。
Actually, when you come, you did a few things at one time. Say, for example, the
首先，我认
husband
为是
transitions.
因为他的表现是什么样的症呢？
So what was the sign? It is
忧
depressions.
郁，尤
She
其是要
suffered
想真正想
depressions,
自杀的
and
时
she
候
even have
你知道通常是
suicidal
什么
thoughts.
原因吗？
Do you know what's the reasons?
就是有那，应该说确切说就邪灵，
There is
因
actually
邪魔上身了。
the evil energy on her, and that on the husband, and wanted the husband to kill
一种
himself.
阴暗的
So
不
it
见
is
天日
in
的
darkness,
也不运动，也
and
不
they
交
don't want
朋
to
友的这种
exercise.
状
They
态。
want to they don't want
比
to
如
have
说你
friends.
失业了，
Let's say
受
you
点打
lose a
击，或者
job,
年轻人失恋了，受过打击。
or you have some negativities.
各种这些打击之后呢，
When you have that
就是
setbacks in
通常
life,
有些人就是受
because
伤
the
比较重
husband was
的话
under demonic
所以
influence,
我为什么用受伤比较重的话？
so
他受的那个伤，主
does
要体现
hurt.
在哪个地方呢？
So where is it? The hurt is where? The hurt is in the neural, in the
脑
neural
神经
side.
坏了之后，
So when you
还
have
有这个
illness in
受
the
打击
mental
的这个
state,
时候呢，也叫受伤，对不对？其
and
实
when
你
you're
的
harmed
真的能
mentally,
量就一下被击散
your
了，
energy
就是
will be
这个坏
affected
消息
immediately.
给你带来的这个打击，实际上能量一下就丧失的失尽了。
So in that moment, with the demonic influence, all your positive energy will disappear. Say, for example, someone is running a
可是突然
marathon,
接到，
and
比如老板
suddenly,
打了个电话，
let's say there's a
说
call
你的儿子
to say that the son
叫车撞死了，
is
叫车撞死了。
died in a car
那这个
accident.
爸爸
So
正
this
在看
father,
这个很健康的这个爸爸会怎么
this
样
very
呢？
healthy dad, what
就
will
立刻就
happen?
跑着去医院吗？
Immediately rush to the
不会的
hospital?
立刻一
No.
下能量就失尽了，
Immediately he will lose
就
all
失
his
去了，
energy.
失尽就是消失了，就是。
It just disappears. The positive energy just disappears. He doesn't even have the energy to
当你再
stand.
看他的时候，他的身体是萎缩
When you
的，
look at him
他的
again,
姿
the
态
body
是萎
shrink.
缩的，
His
他的眼神
position
是回避
shrink.
人的，就没有能量。
He doesn't have energy.
当你处在没有能量的
When you
时候
have no energy in that state,
有时候那个邪灵就来了。
the negative, the demonic influence will enter your
我们从这
body.
个现象上来说，就是这个样子的。
So that is
没有
how
能
the
量它是
form
来
is.
了。
哦，你也抵抗不了。
尤其是你的精神受到打击的时候，
Especially when
精神
at the
受打
mental
击的时候
state
哈，
you are
叫做
affected.
六神无主。
You
这
lose your
六神无主呢
senses.
你主要那个魂魄就出去了。
Your spirit,
就你
your
身体
main
太虚
spirit
弱
is gone.
hold 不住你那个魂魄，
So it
魂
couldn't
魄
hold
自
your
己就
body.
出去了。魂
So
魄
you
的那一
lose
溜
that
达
part
头
of
脑
you,
空
the
了一部
spiritual
分
self.
空了一
It
个洞
seems like
这个
a
空
part
洞
of your
正
brain
是
has
有邪灵想
disappeared.
住的地方。
And that's why the demonic influence able to enter your brains and enter your body. And when it enters your body, so that
在
the
不
demons
是人类
can
的邪灵
cultivate.
哈他们最希望的是能变化成人身，
Because
变化成人
they just
形。
want to become a human body. They want a human body. So
但
that's
是
why
变
the
成人形，他希望咱能
the
变化成
demonic
不同的形
influence will just
这
enter.
有点《西游记》，你要练36遍还是72遍，就是这样子。他达到那个程度才能成仙。
Because they need to reach that level before they can become a higher level, reach the higher realm. That is what normal people doesn't know. So when your
邪灵
mental
就侵
state,
入进来。
when you're empty,
对，
the demonic
所以你去
influence
死去
will
自杀
enter. That's why he
更
taught
是
about suicide.
更是这个邪灵所操
And
作
when the
带
person
你
want
走
think about
这样你死
suicide,
的时候，他把你的精气神全部吞光了。
it is definitely these negative energies that enter the brains.
对，在《西游记》中吃唐
So
僧
this
肉
is the
的妖怪
effect
也
of
是希望
karmic
是
burdens.
获得
So
唐
why
三
is it
藏的
that
精
in the
气神
journey to the west,
对不对？
a lot of
让我来
demons
取代
want to
你
eat the meat
我还是我
of
但是我把
Tangsen,
你的
which is
能
the
量
monk,
全部吸收
because
成
they
是我
want
自
to
己的
they want
就
to
是这样。
get
啊
the
所以
best
呢，
of
这位
his
师兄
G's.
呢，失业的师兄呢，
And
对
for
不对
for the
当
husband,
他被
the
失业
unemployment,
之后
the financial
他精
ruins,
神上受不了
what happens?
本来就
When
个
he
性就
loses
比较偏
jobs,
内向
he is already
一受这个
at the
打击
beginning
门
he
也
is
不
already
出了
an
每天的
introverted
抹
person.
眼泪
When
哼哼唧
suddenly
唧
he
就哭闹
loses
的啊
jobs,
对，完了之后呢，其实他这个打击是脑受伤，
it
脑
has
受伤呢
affected
使他
him
精神要
badly.
全部失
And as
失
a
掉了
result, his
之
mental
后呢
health
邪
is
灵就进来
affected.
了所以我
And when the
过去
mental
在
health
刚
is
才的时候
affected,
呢是把那个
he'll
邪
be
灵先
under the
赶走
demonic influence.
那
So
邪灵
why
也是有
was
本
the
事
strong
的
wind blown when the master
对
appears?
你的本事
Is
太轻
to
了之后
the wind
你
came
师兄
to
去
drive
劝说
away
他
that
你念经没有用
negative energy.
所以用很强的能量
So it is a very strong energy to drive away that demonic influence. And that's why the sisters could feel like this huge wind. So when I helped everybody, the degree, the impact is different. In this case, I need to get rid of the demonic influence, maybe not just one, maybe more. And that's why there's this strong wind. And that's why the sisters, this could feel the strong wind. So that's why the next day, when the husband wake up, he was full of energy. He could feel much lighter. It seems like he regained his original self. So when we help people, different people, we have different degrees of help. Thank you, Masters, for explaining. It is like Journey to the West. Yes, indeed. It's like Journey to the West. So, Master, how do we avoid this to be under the demonic influence? There are many methods, and the content is a lot. First, because if you lose your jobs or you have all the negative energies, first of all, you must understand that when that happens, your positive energy has dispersed. So first, you want to gain back this positive energy. So the best method is come to cultivate. And you have no time to cultivate, you offer lights. You can go to offer lights, you can go to our online to make light offerings, to fill up this, accumulate this positive energy. And you have opportunities, come to become a volunteer at the center. Why? Because this will help you to gain energy. Within 1 year, you'll be able to gain more energy than before, to bump up your energy level. And the fourth is you just wear some blessed items. Or you carry with you some auspicious cards. So when the demonic influence comes to your house, you can feel that the house is more yin in nature, because they like this, and it's darker. And I just want to remind you that because Qingming just passed for a day, the last time we talked about the ancestral graves, if there are a lot of creepers or there are a lot of ferns on it around the graves, it is important for you to clean them well. You need to make sure that you sweep you need to go and sweep the tombs. It is important to do that. And your own house, you must check. You want to see if there is a lot of algae in the house. If you can see that there are algae, or you have some algae fields on the floor or certain areas, you want to clear it. Any areas that you have a lot of water retentions, you want to clear it. Well, because it means that there are some moles, and when you are mole, it will affect your body. You may actually even have growth, or even cause death. And that is so important to do that, not just in the graves, but at home as well. So you may want to use salt. Soda, baking soda, or baking soda with salt. You use warm water, you melt them. You just clean away the algae, and after that you will not grow anymore. You can get some who are more professionals to take a look at that. Or even like some of the incense, special incense, we just burn the incense and place at this place. The best is the incense, the burnt incense. Because they are extremes, young energies. So actually, when it burns into the incense, it transforms to a different substance, and this substance has very strong yang energies. In the village, when someone passes away, they don't want the spirits to follow them. So at the entrance of the house, they will add some charcoal, burnt charcoal, in the front of the house. That's very useful. Yeah, so you block away the negative energies. So there are different ways of doing it, so you want to be careful. In China, there are a lot of trees at 1 meter. They actually paint some form of white cement. Why do they do that? The paint at the base of the tree is that they don't want the algae to grow there. Because when there are too much of algae, it has too much of yin energies. Thank you, Master. And that's why in our centers, we always have the incense get ready. So there are some Dharma sisters or brothers, their cars, they need to get rid of some of these negative energies. So you just wipe it to cleanse it. And you spray some salt water, and you place some of our sutra in the different parts of the car so that your car is full of yang energies. So all the bad energies will be away, and you'll be peaceful, and you'll be saved when you travel. Otherwise, a lot of people who went when they took sweeping, and they have some strange encounter. They have encounter with the spirit. So you want to have a lot of positive energies. You want to have a lot of yang energies to ward this off.
借这个故事呢，给大家沟通一下哈。
师傅，还有主安娜这个孩子呀，哈，就是其实感觉，因为他爸爸这个家里这个对忧郁症的这个病史是对有这个。I
think for the daughter, because of the father, she also inherited the introverted personalities. But luckily for her, she is going to universities as well. So what is important for her is that for the daughter to bring with her all the blessed items, and in the when she's at the center, when she moved to the hostel, school hostel, she want to bring along with her some blessed item as well. And if you can lit some incense, the agarwood incense, to get rid of the negative energies, to ward off the evil energies. And that's very critical as well. So Joanna, your daughter is going to leave you to go to universities. So what you can do is continue to offer lights on behalf of your daughter. So congratulations to Joanna. Everyone's received Master's protections in the family. She's very lucky. Master have helped them to get rid of the demonic influence. So maybe Master, we can have some gifts for the family. So there's a Vajrapastal to bring along.
And
this is clamshell chanting beads. You can wear with you. It has been blessed. You'll be able to ward off the evil energies and bring you auspiciousness. And there is also a hat. This is a pure cotton hat. It is very practical. It's a sun hat. It can block the sunlight. It is comfortable and is also auspicious. You can put your credit cards and some small change inside. There is a special pockets in it. This is Master's design. When I design things, I want it to be practical and useful. So this hat is extremely comfortable and auspicious as well. So wishing Joanna and her family auspiciousness, and may Buddha's light shine upon you. And everyone in the family will receive great wisdoms. So Joanna's are from the Silicon Valleys, and we just want to share some of the activities at Silicon Valley. They recently had some group practice. The next major event is May 4th. It's a joyful spring festival and fair. And it is also the Sikamoni's Buddha's blessing ceremony. And during this fair, you can bring your friends and relatives to come. There'll be food, drinks, games, and a lot of fun activities. There'll be snack stalls, DIY craft booth, as well as games. Because it is also the Buddha's bathing ceremony, there will also be some rituals, wish makings, and symbolic hand washings in the golden basins. And there's also a midday recharge group practice. It is targeting providing a relaxing lunch break for working professionals. It's Monday to Friday, 11:30 to 1 p.m. And how do you get recharge? You can carve for meditations. There will be singing bowl musics and to help you relax, to gain inspirations, to gain wisdoms, and also there will be free vegetarian lunch provided. Wow, so not only providing you with food to fill your stomach and also to fill your spirit. So people who are at Silicon Valley encourage you to go to recharge your mind and refocus your day. So do you have to pay for it? No, this is actually free. So we encourage all to come to the Silicon Valley's Bodhi Meditation Center. So this is a noontime meditation. Recharge your mind and refocus your day. And this is a good time for you to step away from your screen. And this is the address of Bodhi Meditation Center at Silicon Valley. And in addition to the recharge sessions, there'll be other activities in the center as well. There's a live guidance, energy healings, and divine oracles. That's by appointment. And there are also different events and even happy weekends that you can bring your families and friends as well as children to come. Sometimes we even have different social activities. And we may sing songs, we may dance, and the meditations will bring us overall health.
咱们很多网友哈，他们在听我们聊天的时候呢，也会贴出来了这一段的一些很特别神奇的一些感应和故事哈。可以有选择性的读几个吧哈。
好的，好的。
Do we have some story to share? Because Qingming just passed. There are some say there's this. There are a lot of people that share. And one of them says that last year my friend called me and she cried saying that the father died away. And she says that during the funerals, the incense suddenly stopped burning and the brother's legs hurt. And then the brother was acting very weirdly, and they say that the father wanted to bring the only son too. So my friend was very worried, and he offered lights on behalf of the father, and she also chanted for the father. And a few days later, they said that the brother regained his self. So actually, during the funerals, if the son has some of such conditions, it feels like the Lord Yaman want to bring him along, or the dead person want to bring along. That's really weird, and that is very scary.
是，
哎呦，太感恩师父了。
就是如果有亲人往生哈，其实很怕的一件事情就是亲人就是跟你，不管是直白的传达讯息，还是跟你说的哈。
What you're worried is that if the loved one give you some sign to want to take you away, the dead person want to take you away, so the simplest way to do is try to offer the biggest lamp, like what Medicine Buddha say. If you offer 7 colored lights, 49 days, and every light is huge, that is better. Because you want to save life. So when your loved ones, if the departed loved ones give you dreams and want to bring you, you must. It is important for you to offer lights to ensure your own safety. The Xiangbo shares that on April the 1st, when I go to my parents' house, my mom said that my dad is sleeping. And then I see that he continued to sleep. I asked him to buy some chili for me, but he continued sleeping. I feel that this is not good. This is quite serious. And the next day, when I go to meditation center, I called whether he has some dreams. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't want to say much. And later he said that he dreamed about his the mom. Actually, the grandma has already passed away for many years. And I said that, well, the grandma needs him to accumulate some merits. So my father helped the grandma to offer for a 9 days light. And also, I offer lights on behalf of the father for his karmic creditors. And the next day, the father becomes better. So she has great gratitude to Master for her to learn the importance of doing light offerings. And there's also another sharing. The maternal grandma passed away, and the mom offered lights for the grandma. And a few days, when the mom was meditating, there is a vision of the grandma holding on to a newborn baby, and there is a very huge canopy, and she looks very peaceful. It seems like the grandma is now in the paradise.
这个竹子网友说这也挺惊险的。他说：“师父好，2周前。”
Zuzi shares that 2 weeks ago, a 2-year-old grandma has a headache, and the mom reminds that this is actually the Qingming festival, so offer lights for the karmic creditors. And offer lights on behalf of the maternal grandmother. And then after that, the room played Master's blessings music. She had some fever, and when she went to the hospital, she accidentally had an accident, and she couldn't stand up after that. But after that, she uses both hands to stand up and go to the room, and the next day she seems like she has no pain, and life is back to usual. And Zuzi deeply understands that this is because of Buddha's, Bodhisattva's blessings, and because of light offerings to help to clear off the negativities. So we will also have special prizes for these internet friends who left your good stories. Actually, there is a way for us to communicate with the deceased loved ones or for us to communicate with Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. What is important is that we need to learn to be matured and responsible. But you must know that when the person is passed on, you don't want to remember them excessively, because if you do that excessively, it will bring you health problems. Because ultimately, you and them are belong to two different realms. You are in the yang realms and they are in the yin realms, and you want to have too much communications between the two realms. It is important for you to interact or to communicate more with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas so that you will be able to elevate your yang energy, the positive energy. So you should enhance or increase the encounter with such positive and auspicious energies. I think today we talk a lot about Buddha's blessings. We also learn a lot about accumulations of merits, the importance of that. And one of them is actually in Yusu home. That is also a good place for us to accumulate merits, because it will help in the propagations of the Buddha Dharma by Bodhi meditations, because more people will be able to listen and benefit their life and bring auspiciousness to more people. So we want to thank all who help us or who have sponsored in Yusu home. So can Master help to bless these people who have contributed or who have sponsored our Yusu home? Yes, definitely. Wishing all sponsors and supporters, wishing all of you health, longevity, auspiciousness. May all things be successful for you. May you gain happiness, and may you receive Buddha's illuminations. Thank you, Master. So our next live broadcast will be Vancouver time 2025, April 12th at 6 p.m. So it will be 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And for Taipei, Vancouver, or for Taipei will be on the 12th and on the 13th. And on the 9 a.m. So we have great surprise awaiting you then. See you during the next live broadcast. Thank you all.
让我与您相遇，小小的红点里，人生就此欢喜。我快乐了，我健康了，我幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点里，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，我宽容了，我慈悲了，我自在了。因为有了你，生命变得更坚定。